I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
Mitchell makes vids that a $2 super chat. Long live the king. Do a podcast with Wings. Wings does not want to do any kind of a long-term commitment with me at all, to my knowledge. I can't even get feedback out of Wings if he enjoyed being on the show a week ago. Like, I would love to hear if he how much he liked it, if he would, be interested in maybe showing up again. He basically doesn't talk to me. He has responded to me and basically says, I don't like talking to people online. That's what he said to me. He goes, I just don't like talking to people online. Like, okay, well then how am I supposed to communicate with him? Right? How am I supposed to communicate with the guy? I mean, I don't have his phone number. I can't call him. Right? All I have his information to contact with him online. So, like, here's my idea. I'll run it by you guys, and here's what's going to happen is people are going to tell him my idea now because that's what people do is they just reiterate. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's see what you guys think of this. All right? Where the hell is the job? Is that it? Here it is. I was like, where the hell is it? There it is. All right, I got to turn around. Here's my idea. All right? I don't want to do anything that's a humongous commitment for the guy. Because number one, I know that he's already said that on a whim, he might go back to Lolcow Live if he needs the money. We don't know how the next month's going to go for him. I mean, there is Call of Duty, but he hates the game. He knows Call of Duty is a moneymaker for him. But what's to say that it's going to go super well or whatever? So, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. The way he answered me on the podcast when he was like, oh, I might go back on Lolcow. I think he's going back on Lolcow. I don't know in what capacity. I don't know exactly when. But I feel like he's going to. I feel like he really doesn't want to. But much like Call of Duty, he understands that it's the one major way he can make money. And so he's just going to end up doing it anyway. Regardless if he wants to do it, he's just going to end up doing it, okay? So that's the thing. Like, he can never commit to be doing something ongoing with me if he, at a whim, needs to drop everything to go back on Lolcow to make money. So here's my idea. And let's see if you guys like this idea or not, okay? I would like to maybe every once in a while do some content with Wings, all right? First of all, I really enjoyed the conversation that we had together last week. It seems the general consensus here is that everyone enjoyed the appearance, that there was, good discussion, good conversation about a lot of topics we didn't really flesh out. We didn't get a chance to because it was 2 hours and, we were the first time ever meeting. You go all over the place, bouncing all over topics. So here's what I think. I think that maybe every once in a while, all right, we should do something together like a show just like that, okay? Now, when you say, well, what is this, a dead end? How the fuck do I get out? How do I get out with this load? It's a dead end. I guess I gotta turn around. Let me see if I can turn the truck around. Okay. So, rather than him committing and being like, yeah, let's do a dedicated show together that we're gonna do, like, every week or every few weeks or, it's going to be on a schedule. I don't think he wants to do that. To be honest, I really don't think he wants to do that. If he wants to do that and he wants to come back at me and say, yes, I'd like to do that, that's different. I'm not getting that vibe. I think he's the kind of guy, he wants to shoot the shit every once in a while, maybe get caught up on topics, maybe talk about our history together as content creators and stuff like that. I think that's really where it shines, is doing these kind of one-off shows every once in a while. All right? I'd be okay with that. Like, for example, what if the end of November, we do another show together. And then maybe to end the year, like a Christmas appearance where he shows up on the Level 1 podcast and we hang out together talking about Christmas shit. I think that would be cool, right? I'd like to talk to him about what he did, Christmas traditions when he was growing up, what he does now with his family. Like, what does he do for Christmas? I'd love to hear it. I think that would be fascinating to compare stories and things about Christmas and different things that we like and stuff like that. So, boy, this is a real pain in the ass to get around corners with these forklifts. Holy shit, this is going to be a real annoying job. So I'm thinking maybe we do something together around Thanksgiving-ish. Maybe it could be right before Thanksgiving, maybe right after Thanksgiving. And then maybe we do something for Christmas. And it's just, basically, he just appears on the podcast, just like we did, last week. We don't have to do it all the time. It doesn't even have to be monthly. I'm just saying it would be nice to do something around Thanksgiving and something around Christmas as like one-off appearances just to hang out. I think that would be good content, okay? Now, here's the thing. I'm totally okay with paying him for his time by splitting whatever profits that we make. So if he decides to show up on the show and there's stream revenue, because he's not streaming his end, I'm streaming it, I would split the stream revenue with the guy. Like, for example, whatever we make when he's on the show, I would split with him. Now, I don't know what we would make, and also it would be his prerogative if he wants to shout out contributions or not. Because the more we shout out live when he's on the show, the more he's going to make. If we don't shout them out, then they're all going to come out after he's gone, in which case, then he's not involved, right? So I'd be down for that. Exactly, like Smart Guys. When I was doing Smart Guys, I was splitting the profits with the co-host, okay? So that's what I would do. Now, it's up to him if he wants to do that or not. He told me he didn't want any money. So if that's the case, he wants to appear and not make any money, that's up to him too. But that's the offer I've got for him. 50-50 split of anything that comes in when he's on the show. Have him appear around Thanksgiving-ish and around Christmas. And each time we could talk a little bit about those holidays, but also talk about how we're doing in our own content, talk about our history as creators. I think it would be great. Okay? And hell, you want to call it? Here you go. Wings and the King. Special edition, Wings and the King on the Level 1 podcast. That's my idea. If you guys like it, let me know. If you don't like it, it's ass, then we don't have to do it. But that's my idea. So, and that's the thing. I wonder if he wants to do it or not. But again, he hasn't answered me. Basically, he just says he doesn't like talking online about anything. So I don't know how I'm supposed to get his feedback. Maybe what'll happen is now you guys will go to his stream and tell him this idea, see if he likes it, and maybe we'll talk about it publicly on his stream. And that's how I'll get his feedback. I know this is the weirdest, most roundabout way to ever get feedback on an idea, because I don't know why he can't just answer me, but he can't. He says that he doesn't like talking to people online, so here you go. Okay? King Ferb says, why not call it Kings of Redemption? What do you guys think about that? The Kings of Redemption. That's catchy too. That's actually probably a more catchy name than what I came up with. The Kings of Redemption. There you go. Shit, am I getting off? No, I'm not getting off. Okay. We need to get to a normal speed. This speed is ass. It's too slow. We got to get up to cruise control speed, and then I can talk more with you guys. I can do the shout out. But right now we're stuck at 45 miles per hour, which is garbage. We got to get to a good speed here. Okay, cruise control. All right. Thank you to Meconium for a $10 super chat. Let's get that up on the leaderboard, Meconium. Thank you so much. That's our biggest super chat of the night, so let's get Meconium on the leaderboard. Thank you, thank you. Good support so far tonight. We're already past the third of our goal to $62. Please, let's keep that momentum going. Remember, the more engagement and support we get, I'll keep this in the rotation. As long as we hit our goal and we get people hanging out and talking and having a good time, this will be once a week moving forward. And again, I think the goal right now should be, can we actually keep this going through the end of the year into 2026? That would be fascinating. I never would have thought that a game like this would have had this longevity. When I go on Wings' show, Wings doesn't have a talk show. Wings doesn't do a podcast and doesn't have a talk show. He just streams games. So that wouldn't even work. How would that work? I'll be honest with you guys, I really am not interested in doing co-op gaming with Wings at this point. I think it's more fascinating to just hang out and talk rather than gaming. Oh, I don't do a podcast either? Then what's that thing that all my trolls complain about that I do in the morning before I stream, and they all say, oh, where's the game? Where's the game? Why are you doing this podcast? I don't do a podcast, huh? Idiot. That's the thing, the dumb shit people say about me now has now gotten to the point where it's so self-hypocritical of the trolls and critics that it's laughable. How on earth can you actually have a point when you contradict yourself in the fucking point? You claim I don't do a podcast, and you complain that I'm doing a podcast instead of gaming. But you can't do both. It's either I'm doing a podcast or I'm not. You're an idiot. Sylvanas, I say Kings now. Wings does not do a talk show. In fact, Wings has outright said he enjoys being part of a show as long as he doesn't have to direct it and run it. He's outright said that. He said he'll do a show as long as he doesn't have to actually organize it and do topics and run it. He just wants to join the show as a guest. He's outright said this before, that this is what he wants to do. So I really, really doubt that he would want to run his own show and have me as a guest. If he did, I would consider it. He hasn't said a word. Here's the truth. I like running shows like that. I like having a guest. I like having someone to talk to and have a conversation with, bounce ideas off of, get answers to questions. I like it a lot. I feel like I would excel at it if I got to do it more often. The problem is I can't because people don't want to do it with me because of my trolls. It's that simple. People don't want to do it with me because of my trolls. They're annoyed that my trolls are going to come after them if they have any involvement with me. So I get people lined up, they're excited, and then they do research, they're like, wait a minute, but your trolls constantly dox people on the internet. Your trolls constantly harass people on the internet. Well, we can't have that. We can't be a part of that activity. So the answer is no. I've had people who actually I had lined up last year to be on the Level 1 podcast as a guest, and they backed out when they found out about the trolling. So I would love to. I think, if anything, as I get older, I do less gaming and more content like that. Abso-freaking-lutely. But there's not much I can really do to make that work. Because, you know, I agree with people that right now, there's a insane group of harassing weirdos who go after people who do something positive with me. Is Boogie a possibility? Why would he be a possibility? What on earth would we talk about? The guy literally does nothing but sit on Lolcow Live now. If he's even still on the show, I don't even know. But the thing is, with Wings and me, I feel like we have a lot of similarities with the content creation, with our histories on Twitch and YouTube, with our trolling communities that follow us, all kinds of shit like that. Of course, we're very different people as well, but we have a lot of commonalities. I really don't even know what commonalities I would have with Boogie at all. Down the line, you had fans as guests. See, again, I used to do that. I used to have people call in who were fans, and we would have conversation. But the problem is, if I were to do that today, those fans would be systematically harassed. 100%. You know it too. You know, those people would come after them, and they'd find your socials and they'd harass you there, and they'd try to contact you at your fucking job. You know, that's how broken these people are. They think that absolutely nothing is off limits and that they can mess with you however they want with no repercussions. So quite frankly, I would advise against it unless someone really did have an online presence that was completely disconnected from their real life in every possible way. Like there was no way that they could find out your personal information and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the only situation where I would say, okay, you know. Get Lumix on? All right, I'll get Lumix on the podcast. Let's see what he has to say. I'm gonna ask you, I'll be fascinated. I'll be like, Lummox, tell us all about the life of a clipping detractor. What's it like to have to watch someone you don't like all day, every day, to find the highlights so you can make a highlight video and make money on YouTube? What's this existence like? I don't know, man. That I did with Stuttering Craig. If you ask me, the Keemstar interview was like 50 times better than the Stuttering Craig interview. Only because with the Keemstar interview, we were cordial with each other, we were respectful with each other, we actually talked about some things in a very calm manner. We didn't go at each other, and it ended up being a fun experience overall, where at the end of the day, we didn't want to murder each other, right? The Craig interview was so pathetic because literally it was just the guy completely refusing to admit he did anything wrong when he gets called out 17 times in a row for what he did wrong. And he did, but you lied about WWE champions. What the fuck's your point? You don't have one. You agreed to have me on your show to do an interview. The agreement was not that I have to answer all of your questions absolutely God's honest correctly or truthfully. All I did was agree to an interview. And then after that, you said I could come on your show as a regular guest like everyone else already had and had a good time. You immediately reneged on your agreement. You are a liar, you're a snake, you're a backstabbing scoundrel. It's that simple. There's nothing else about it. And he basically would never get off the fact, well, you lied about a mobile game. So what? Who gives a fuck if I lied about a mobile game? What if every word out of my mouth was a lie during the interview? I still did your fucking interview for free, which is what we agreed to. But he doesn't understand that because he's a fucking dunce, and he wanted a big payday and big notoriety on the internet for the appearance. So when I have him on the show, it's this big, angry argument. He won't do nothing. He won't be cordial. You know, he's just a jerk. He's a fucking jerk. So that's what I mean. Like, that interview, I didn't really like as much. I wish it had gone differently. I wish I could have had like a breakthrough with the guy to let him understand that he was being a disingenuous piece of shit. But you can't have a breakthrough with someone who doesn't have morality or a conscience. He doesn't. I mean, this is a guy who literally time and time again started a business, ran it into the ground, sold it off, and screwed off everyone involved with it. He did it with Screw Attack. He did it with that second business. He's done it again and again. I wouldn't be shocked if he does it with his current show right now, that he runs it into the ground, sells it off to try to make money again. He's a track record of being this kind of a snake oil guy. You know what I mean? This slimy dude. So, not shocked that it happened. I just didn't realize that about that guy until after the fact. But again, I want to do content that's more positive and meaningful, that builds bridges, that has meaningful conversation, that when people tune in and watch, they're like, oh, that was interesting. I learned something, or, you know, I got something meaningful out of it. Not, oh, I saw two guys who yelled at each other the entire conversation and they looked like two immature dicks. You know, I don't get satisfaction out of that, to be honest. I don't really feel like I got anything out of the Stuttering Craig interview at all. I think it was a waste of time. As opposed, again, to the Keemstar interview, I think that was a complete constructive piece of content. That one actually helped the internet in a lot of ways. People looked at Keemstar in a different light, and me in a different light. That was a good thing. That's the kind of content that we need. Not people just fucking trying to rip each other's faces off. And that's what it seems like everyone wants me to be involved in, and I don't want to be involved in it. I could have done that. That's what they wanted me to do with the dumb shit that Kino Casino was coming up with. That was just brain dead stupid shit that I refused to do. Chill as a Cherry says, do you think you're going to regret spending most of your life inside of a house, spending no time, meaningful time with friends, and doing anything? Listen, first of all, I had a very eventful life before I became a full-time YouTuber and moved out here. Before 2014, most of my life was IRL shit. I traveled playing Street Fighter for like 15 years of my life. It was constant in-person interaction with people, going to arcades, going to their houses, going to fucking tournaments. That was my life. I was flying everywhere. I was traveling everywhere. In my youth, that's literally the polar opposite of what I do now. All right? So you're acting like since the day I was born, I was sitting in front of a TV streaming games. That's not true. I didn't start doing that actually full time until 2017. My life was very different, okay? Now, you're talking about now. Now I am married. I have a full-time job as a streamer, and I'm married. My wife is my best friend. If anything, if I have more free time, you know who I want to spend more time with? My wife. Not anyone else. I don't want to have other friends. I just want to spend more time with my wife, who I don't spend enough time with as it is. So you'll understand this one day when you find the right person, and you have that person who you want to spend as much time with as possible, and you can't because you're busy all the time, then you'll get it. But the thing is, you're a single schlub right now who's trying to criticize me on my stream, and you don't understand it because you're younger than me. One day you'll get to that age, hopefully, you'll find the right person, and then you'll be happy just like me, and you'll get it. But a lot of people who criticize me in my life don't understand that the life is great, that I'm incredibly happy with the way that it is, because I set it up that way. Like, I actually... No, you're not. Oh, you're not married. You're such a fucking liar. Ban that guy right now. Dude, you are literally sitting on my stream right now telling me basically that my life sucks. Even though I'm the one with the audience, I'm the one making money, getting healthy, happily married, and you're gonna tell me you're married? No, you're wasting your fucking life watching me saying shit like that to me on my stream. You're not married. No one would marry you, all right? You understand that? No one in their right mind would even talk to you of any kind of a fucking gender. You're the one who sits in your fucking basement all day smelling like fucking stinky ass fucking socks, all right? No one else fucking talks to people like you. Anyway, what a fucking idiot. I have received a generous contribution. You know? Someone who doesn't get that. Here's the funny part, too. This guy in the stream who's calling me out saying, oh, I don't have any real life interactions or whatever. But you're married, right? So why aren't you with your wife right now? Why are you sitting on my stream criticizing my life? If you're married, why aren't you spending time with your wife? What, do you not like her? Does she not like you? So when we turn it on itself, we can easily analyze the situation and figure out where the real problem is. The problem isn't me. The problem is this idiot whose life sucks and wishes he had my life. So now he's got to try to bring me down in a way that makes him feel better about himself, right? Now the speed limit is 75. We're just about to split the part, actually. Let me finish my drink. I haven't even finished my first drink yet. It's just funny to me because when people say stuff like that to me on a stream, or when people criticize me online and they're like, you don't have any friends. Like, wait a minute. Well, I have people I'm friendly with. I'm friendly with my moderators. I'm friendly with certain people on stream. I'm friendly with other people online as well. I still talk to people from the FGC from back in the day who I'm friendly with. Maybe I'm not friends because I don't have a lot of time to spend, but I am friendly with people. I'm married happily. I'm having a great time with my life. I wish I had more time with my wife. So what is your criticism exactly? It's like, well, you're not fitting my exact interpretation of what your life should be. Well, when I was single and in my 20s, I had a ton of friends. I had tons of friends who I spent time with. We would travel and go to tournaments together. We would hang out outside of that, go drinking, go bowling, hanging out, play pool. We did all that shit because I was single and I had time to do it. I wasn't full-time employed like this. So what is exactly your point? I think what it is, you get these people who are younger and immature, and they think that everyone should just live up to their standard of what's happiness or whatever, and it's not. Like, everyone's different. Everyone has a different life. That's okay. It's not your place to be criticizing how other people live, especially if they're happy and they're not hurting anyone. Then let them be themselves. Let them be happy. One person, maybe, never wants to be married whatsoever, but wants to have a lot of friends for their whole life. That's fine. There's no reason for you to criticize that. They can do that if they want. And then you might have someone who's happily married and doesn't have time for friends outside of that because they're busy. That's fine too. Why is one correct and the other wrong? I'm really at a loss. Like, if everyone lived exactly the same life, had the same goals, the same archetype they wanted to fill in, wouldn't life be boring as shit? If we all just went down the same exact path, had the same aspirations, had the same desires, the same things that we like and don't like. It really is. Variety is the spice of life. The fact that we have people who are so different from each other actually is what makes life entertaining and interesting, in my opinion. But I guess some people don't see that way. It's like, my way or the highway, agree with me or disagree with me. If you disagree with me, you're a villain. You're a horrible, heinous villain, right? We can't have agreements or agree to disagree on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that mentality at all. I just don't. When I was younger, I was very pig-headed like that, but since I've been a content creator, since I've been a YouTuber, my mind has expanded dramatically, and I certainly don't think in that mindset anymore, that's for sure. Nick Smith did a $2 super chat, says, who's your favorite gay? Oh, let me tell you, this is a topic that I think about all day. What I do is I have an actual ranking of people who are homosexual, and I rank them all day in my head, and then sometimes the rankings change during the day's events because I just sit there on drama sites and social media, and I see what they're saying and doing to each other, and I just constantly have the ranking fluctuating all day long. Anyway, thanks, Roy, for $2. Or they're gonna fly you out to a bar. Well, you know. Let me put it this way. I think to be who you are in life and be confident in who you are is way more acceptable than to be a closeted denier. I'll put it that way. It's way more brave. It's way more acceptable for you to accept who you are in life and say, this is who I am. I'm going to stop denying it. I'm going to stop hiding it because I'm a coward, because I have a certain kind of customer base that I need to fucking basically, bend over to and say that I'm not. You could just be honest and admit it. But, there's some people who are cowards. All right, let's finish the job. Especially today, because in today's society, it's completely acceptable to be whatever you want, right? You can be straight, you can be gay, you can be in between, whatever you want, and it's all acceptable and it's fine, and I don't care about it either. There's nothing wrong with being any kind of sexual preference or any kind of, gender or whatever. It's all good. It really is. I don't give a shit. So why are you hiding it? Why are you lying about it? Why are you closeted, huh? Oh, because the money's coming in today. Oh, I see. Because you're pretending the money comes in, so you can't be honest with yourself. Got it.